This is Unity for Beginners by Beginner. So we have a sword here and we want to add a hitbox to it. So I go here, I add a box collider, I make sure to trigger, and then I mess around with some of the transforms here to make sure it fits tightly or loosely around the sword. Now we're going to add a script called sword controller, which will have the logic for the hitbox. So within the sword controller script, we're going to want to reference an animator called animation info, because we're just going to take whether the sword is slashing or not from this animator. And then we want some stats for the weapon damage, which is 10F, and then a private stat for the hit count to make sure we're not dealing damage continuously during the hit slash and only one time. In our start function, we're going to want to set the animation info to a GameObject.find your animator. GameObject.find is very helpful for getting any game object in your scene, and make sure we get the component animator from it. Then we're going to want to set the hit count to a default value of 0. So I use the on-trigger state to check if the collider of the hitbox on this weapon is colliding with another is-trigger collider. And if the other collider has an enemy tag, and if the collider is a box, so if it's enemy hitbox, we're going to continue with the rest of this code. We're going to do another if statement that checks if we're currently slashing, and if we're currently slashing, we're also going to check if the hit count is 0, which it is by default. If it's 0, we're going to go into the other collider's game object, get its enemy health script, and then make sure it can take damage equivalent to the weapon damage. Then we're going to debug.log and say you landed an attack, just to make debugging way easier, and we're going to increase the hit count by 1. So this makes it so that if you're originally hitting something and you're currently in a slash animation, it will deal damage, but only one time, because after it deals damage, the hit count's going to be too great to continue dealing damage. And then if you're not in a slash, we're going to reset the hit count to 0, so when you slash again, you can deal damage. Block onto the enemy, 1, 2 hits, 3 hits. It does 25 damage, so it should die right now. Boom.